Oh, alright guys, just give us 2 ticks. What's up? Alright guys, Super Metal 983 here. Here bring you Super Metal Recommendations Episode 2. Now this one has obviously took a lot longer than I expected, and I kind of deeply apologise about that, because I kind of got sidetracked a little bit with other videos and whatnot, and completely forgot about this series, so well done me. So obviously the last one was back in January of last year, so it's been a year, so I thought when I came across the video I was like, oh shit, I haven't done number 2, so I thought I'd do one for you. So welcome to another episode. So don't worry, in the upcoming future there will be more Super Metal recommendations on a more regular basis than once a year. So I'm actually planning another one in the future with like 2016 releases that I've kind of checked out lately that I think, wow, why didn't I check them out sooner? So that'll come in the future, but for now, let's get on with a couple of recommendations for you. Alright, the first one we're going to be talking about is a killer kind of old school death metal in a vicious sense kind of band that I definitely recommend that you check out. I'm talking about Body Harvest, and this is their debut album entitled Futile Creation. Yeah, that's that album. For those who aren't familiar with Body Harvest, they are a Bristol-based death metal band who play a very vicious, angry, pissed off kind of old school death metal. And I came across this band because, well, I knew the name for quite a while. Like, I'd heard their name getting tossed around the UK death metal circuit, and I got asked, well, me and the lads in Erebor got asked, would you just consider supporting them in September of last year, and I was like, hell yeah, might as well. It's a great opportunity. Let's go with it. And I never checked them out. I was putting it off till the gig, and then I thought one day when I was bored and there was no music that I fancied checking out, I was like, hey, why don't I check out Body Harvest, see if they're any good. So I stuck on this album on YouTube, and from the minute I put it on, I was just blown away. I was like, shit, I'm playing with these guys. I was like, this is going to be an insane gig, and it was indeed. It went down really well, and Body Harvest, in my opinion, stole the show for me. They were absolutely phenomenal. Like, Necrosis were great, but Body Harvest was just vicious, angry, just sweet death metal perfection, if you ask me. Just what a great performance to put on. And I obviously picked up the CD, shirt, and a patch, which you've seen in one of my previous updates and purchases. But I highly recommend this band if you're into death metal, especially this album. This is some vicious stuff. If you're into that old school death metal, kind of like Immolation, Deicide kind of style, then this is definitely for you, and I highly recommend this album. You can pick it up on there, I believe, Big Cartel. I'll leave, obviously, links in the description as before, but make sure you check out this album. It's absolutely amazing, if you ask me. Alright, the next recommendation we're going to be talking about is one of the albums that I said in me updates and purchases that I've been listening to non-stop last year. I fell in love with it. It's not necessarily a 2016 release. This is just an album that came out a while back, and I've just had it on repeat last year. I'm talking about Pseudogod with their debut album, Deathwomb, Catechesis. This album, man, this album is absolutely amazing. I think this is one of the most devastating albums I've ever heard in my life. It just obliterates you from start to finish. If you know Pseudogod, then you've heard this album. If you haven't heard Pseudogod and you're into kind of like black and death metal, like a very evil, ritualistic kind of dark death metal, then this is definitely for you. I highly recommend it. There's just so many good songs on this, I can't even pick it. Just this album is easily a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this album, and if you've heard this album, you'll love it as well. And there's a lot of my YouTube brothers who have heard this album and been blown away by it. So if any of my other YouTube brothers haven't heard this album, get on it straight away. It is phenomenal. Alright, the next one we're going to be talking about is a very interesting sounding one, probably the most different sounding one if you compare all the albums here. I'm talking about Melechesh, and this is their latest album entitled Enki. If it'll fucking focus. No, it's not going to focus, but oh well. Enki. This album, at first I thought it was a bit meh, very meh to me. Like, their previous album to this, I cannot remember what it's called off the top of my head. But that album, I was kind of disappointed with a little bit when it came to Melechesh. But the album before that, I absolutely love. It's fantastic. I still cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head. But when I saw Melechesh as main support for Nile, when I saw them in Bristol, as you remember from my gig review, from that moment I was listening to them a little bit, trying to get a bit more into them, and I saw them live, and they were playing a majority of this album, and I was just hooked from that moment with the intensity, the kind of like, how would you describe it, like Middle Eastern, kind of Egyptian kind of theme that they've got going on with the music. It works so fucking well. It's like this combination of black metal, death metal, thrash metal, with this kind of like Middle Eastern kind of thing. When I first heard them, when I first like listened to them a bit more, the vibes that I was kind of picking off was kind of like as if Nile was black and death metal-esque. That's the kind of vibe I kind of picked up. And, in all honesty, now that I think about it, it's a little bit kind of bland, not really the same sort of thing. But, honestly, this album is absolutely fantastic. The drum work is phenomenal. The guitar work is insane. And just the vocals, the sound vicious and just very grindy, and well, not necessarily grindy as in grindcore, just like very ear piercing and just so goddamn good. I absolutely love this album. It's honestly been a while since I jammed this album, but I'd highly recommend it to you if you like a bit of like something with a bit of a new sound kind of thing. Then definitely give this a chance. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and it came out in 2015. But yeah, I highly recommend this album if you haven't listened to it before. Yeah, I can't really say much more. Check out this album, Melechesh with Enki. I think that's how it's pronounced. I could be wrong. But you know from my past videos that I'm shit at pronunciation. But yeah, I can't pronounce this one though, because this was an album that I... Oh, 1 second. Your phone's going off. We'll have to wait. Anyway, this is a band I can't pronounce, and this was an album I listened to a lot last year, especially at the start of the year. Like, I started to get a bit more into the band, and like, I've always liked them. I just never like loved them, if you know what I mean. But I do love them now, and it's all because of this album, because I think this is a death metal masterpiece, if you ask me. I'm talking about Illdisposed with The Lost Souls on Our Side. Look at that artwork. I absolutely love that artwork. I think it really encapsulates the album very, very well. Anyway, this album, it was one that I kind of, how could I describe it? It's one of those Illdisposed albums that I think is like one of their better albums. Like they've got some great death metal albums, but I feel like this album and their like one, not previous, but before that one, called There Is Light, But It's Not For Me, this one, these two are my favourite albums. But when it came to doing a Super Metal recommendations, I wanted to talk about the album that I feel is their most solid, their most evil sounding, and just best description of what Illdisposed is all about. And this album definitely encapsulates it for me. Yeah, they've got some great old school albums, but this one just takes the cake for me. I absolutely love this album. This has turned into one of my favourite death metal albums to listen to. And if you've heard this song, this album, it's because it says a love song on the back, so I said song, but whatever. But this album is honestly fantastic. If you're into death metal with real intensity, but it's still got a real beefy, punchy vibe to it, then this is definitely for you. Check out this album. I absolutely love it. And the last album that they've done, Grey Skies Over Grey Sky or Black Town. That's a good album, as you've seen in me updates and purchases, but this album always takes the beat for me. If you love your death metal with meaty riffage, this is definitely for you. I felt a bit of a groove metal kind of vibe when listening to this, like a kind of like a bit of an influence, but that's not me. But I'd say it's more an old school death metal kind of vibe now that I think about it. But still, great album. If you haven't checked out this album before, give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. Now, obviously, there's 4 albums that I highly recommend you to check out. But obviously, as I said in my previous Super Metal recommendations, the last one in the 5 CDs that I show you, or vinyls, or whatever, the last one will be the one that I recommend to you the most, the Super Metal recommendation. And this band is a local band. I've decided to plug a local band, but quite rightly so, because this EP is probably my favourite EP of 2015 when it came out. And they've brought out a new EP which is just as amazing and leads up, obviously, to the album which is going to be released later this year through Profound Law Records, which I think is going to be a contender for Album of the Year, because I absolutely love this band. But this little EP that they put out first is, what can I say, just evil, dark, sinister, just suffocating. It's a real suffocating release, and this band deserves a push, if you ask me. They've supported some great bands in the world of like not old school, definitely like that dark incantation kind of style death metal. And I'm talking about Vacivus with their debut EP, Rite of Ascension. This EP is so goddamn good. I absolutely love this EP. I have to say, if I was allowed EPs in my top albums list or end of year list, which I kind of stay away from putting EPs and stuff, but this will be up there in the like top 5 at least. This is so goddamn good. Every 5 tracks on this EP absolutely fucking kills, and I seriously cannot wait for their album. This EP is absolutely fantastic. Their new EP, Nuclear Chaos, I think that's what it's called. I'll link that EPs down below. But this EP is absolutely fantastic and one of the best things I've heard to come out of the Northeast, period. This is honestly amazing. What more can I say? I haven't seen these guys live yet, but I will get the opportunity, because this is absolutely amazing. I think it's just the epitome of dark, if you ask me. Check out this EP. I cannot praise it enough. Give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. If you're especially into Incantation, Dead Congregation, Cruciamentum from the UK, if you're into that, then check these out. But yeah, that's the list that I've got so far. I'm going to run these by you again in the right order. First off, we talked about Body Harvest, Futile Creation. We talked about Pseudogod with Deathwomb, Catechesis. I might as well just add, I cannot wait for them to do a new album. I hope they do. Then thirdly, Melechesh with Enki. Then we've got Illdisposed with the Lost Souls on Our Side. And finally, my ultimate recommendation is Vacivus with Rite of Ascension EP. So yeah, make sure you check out all these bands, and I promise you it won't be a year until the next Super Metal recommendations. The next one will probably come in the next coming months. I'm planning, as I said, to do a kind of like, how could I describe it, like 2016 releases that I missed or maybe overlooked or didn't check out when they first came out. And I checked like quite a few 2016 releases that I missed in like January, and I was like, why the fuck did I miss that? I mean, one of them is the new In Flames, which that'll probably make an appearance, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, anyways, hope you liked the video, and I'll see you until the next video. And remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.